One such moment on the front line shows how small affordable drones are changing the battlefield in Ukraine and beyond. Recent headlines have drawn attention to the significant impact of tiny FPV, first-person view, drones in modern warfare. How could a drone weighing just a few pounds blow up a 46-ton tank? A report from the Bulgarian military on a Ukrainian FPV drone pilot killing more than 300 fighters. Ukraine's FPV drones are getting more lethal, highlight the growing influence of these small, agile devices on the battlefield. Colonel Ivan Pavenko of the Ukrainian Army notes that the number of FPV drones on the battlefield has quadrupled. This surge can be attributed to several factors. FPV drones are lightweight, often weighing only a few pounds, and they are significantly more cost-effective than larger defense drones like the Reaper, costing about $400. This affordability and accessibility have made them a popular choice for military operations, and unlike larger drones, FPV drones are better compared to sniper bullets, with their pilots akin to snipers. Meanwhile, their explosive FPV drones' payloads are not sufficient to destroy large structures. Their precision targeting capabilities allow them to eliminate small, moving targets such as motorcyclists, individual soldiers, cars, and even tanks. This precision makes them a valuable asset in combat, and while FPV pilots are counting up hits like snipers in previous wars, FPV drones can hit fortified targets that snipers equipped with more traditional weapons can't. Some media covering the fighting in Ukraine reports that Ukrainian workshops are manufacturing up to 100,000 FPV drones monthly, most equipped with a grenade weighing about a pound. There is speculation, however, that the Ukrainian army may have developed more destructive technology for FPV drones, as evidenced by a video showing a tank destroyed by an FPV drone, an outcome unlikely with just a 1-pound grenade. The affordability and availability of FPV drones make them formidable despite their relatively low destructive power compared to larger weapons, and some FPV drones are now being equipped with up to 10 pounds of explosives, according to foreign policy. However, there are drawbacks, including a limited range of up to 6 miles and lower quality cameras, which can hinder performance at night or in adverse conditions. Moreover, while the Ukrainian military often streams successful FPV drone strikes, there are also numerous bloopers, highlighting the challenges of using these drones effectively. Despite the drawbacks, FPV drones are playing a significant role in the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Ukraine's innovation with FPV drones helps counterbalance Russia's larger troop numbers. This development is prompting other countries, including the US, to reconsider their investment strategies in larger, more expensive systems. While FPV drones alone are not sufficient to win a war, their strategic use is proving to be a crucial element in modern military tactics. Currently, Russia's military faced a new casualty record in May amid its war with Ukraine, according to the British Ministry of Defense. The war began on February 24, 2022, when Russian President Vladimir Putin launched the special military operation. Putin initially aimed for a quick victory over Ukraine, viewed as having a smaller, weaker military. However, Kyiv's spirited defense effort, along with billions of dollars of Western military aid and challenges plaguing the Russian military, for months prevented Russia from making substantial gains. More than 2 years later, Russia this month launched a new offensive in the northeastern region of Ukraine. The move comes after aid from the United States stalled for months and the conflict had remained stagnant. The new front could potentially be a threat to Kharkiv, the second largest city in Ukraine, and on Friday, the British Ministry of Defense released its latest intelligence update on the war, noting that Russia has reached a grim milestone in the number of casualties. The total number of Russians either killed or wounded since the war began has likely reached 500,000, according to the update that noted losses continued at a high level in 2024. Russia averaged more than 1,200 casualties per day this month, the highest reported since the war began. The elevated casualty rate is highly likely a reflection of Russia's ongoing attritional offensive, which is being conducted across a wide front, the update reads. It is highly likely that most Russian forces receive only limited training, and they are unable to carry out complex offensive operations. As a result, Russia employs small-scale but costly wave attacks in an effort to weaken Ukrainian defenses. Russia has continued to recruit new forces to sustain the approach, but the strategy will almost certainly continue to limit Russia's ability to generate higher capability units, the Post reads. While Russia has continued to face high losses, the offensive has threatened to complicate Ukraine's defense efforts as Putin's troops took control of some areas in the northeastern part of the country. Ukrainian troops have seen some success in fighting back in the Kharkiv region. The Institute for the Study of War, ISW, wrote in an update this week, publishing a map that shows Ukrainian advances. The ISW wrote in a Thursday update that growing approval from Western leaders for Kyiv to use its weapons to strike inside Russia could play a critical role in its future defense efforts. Over 800 days into Europe's bloodiest conflict since the Second World War, Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine shows no sign of relenting. Despite tens of thousands killed on both sides, and Ukrainian cities still facing daily, deadly bombardments, Russian President Vladimir Putin, emboldened by Western equivocation, has not abandoned his maximalist objectives, seeking to seize more territory. Now at last, President Biden has relented, bowing to international pressure to permit Kyiv to use American weapons to strike nearby Russian territory on the Kharkiv front. Britain can be proud that it has long granted permission for Kyiv to use its donated weapons, including deadly Storm Shadow missiles on targets in Russia without such restrictions, recognizing that Ukraine is in an existential fight.
Пострел!